Hey, this is the Ballantine Prospector, and I know a lot of you have been emailing me to do more videos, and I promise I'm going to get a lot more out, especially the adventures that I've been going on. But I wanted to show you, and this was a question from somebody in Nevada, on how do I get my fine golds out of my concentrates. And I've developed, well, obviously it's a blue bowl system, but I utilize a blue bowl with a Fossicker's pan. And what this allows me to do is you know, any gold that gets through the blue bowl system falls down into the Fossicker's pan, and there's riffles here, and very, well, gosh, I can't imagine hardly any gold getting past that. So let me show you how I get to that process. Alright, the first thing that I like to do is classify the material down with a 20 mesh pan. So I've got just a very small sample here, and this is actually something that my son had found, my 10-year-old son, and I'm going to utilize these concentrates just from his panning. So I'm going to put a pan down, put my 20 mesh screen, and then just hose this through. Okay, now anything smaller than 20 mesh is now into this pan, which I'm going to put right into my blue bowl. I'm going to move that over, and then I'm going to take over here, and then I'm going to flip this over because I want to pan this out just in case there was a nugget larger than 20 mesh. Okay, there's my material that is larger than 20 mesh, and here's my material smaller than 20 mesh, which I am going to put into my blue bowl system. Let's go try it. Okay, let me just show you how I have this set up. Obviously, I've got my standard blue bowl, and how this works is water comes in and it does a whirlpool effect. All the light materials come down through a hole down into here, and then they come into my Fossicker's pan, and as you can see here, it has a ripple system, just like a sluice, and then the material has to run down through that into my tub, which has a recirculating little small pond pump right here that pumps the water right back up. The first stage of getting my fines out of my concentrates is the blue bowl, and it is very important that you do have this absolutely level, because that'll make sure that all the material is evenly leveled throughout your blue bowl and that it's going through the center correctly. So I'm going to always check that, and I check that quite frequently. The second is the water flow. Right now it's just a tad bit too much, but you'll learn over time and playing with it and experimenting which water flow makes the best. But I like to have it a little bit higher, because I know that any material is going to fall down into my Fossicker's pan and not going to escape. And of course, I will either run this through the blue bowl again at a slower pace, or I'll just pan this out. So let's start testing some material. Alright, I've heard of a million different ways to insert your material into the blue bowl. Putting it in front of the flow, behind the flow, you know, putting it in and then turning the water on, whatever it may be. I like to just kind of spoon it in, and so I'm going to take it here and just kind of drop it in and just gradually let it fall through without trying to disrupt the water flow. So there you can see the material going in. I'm going to put one more spoonful. And I'm not real worried, like I said, about any gold getting out because I do have my safety pan below. So let's give this a try and see how it goes. You can see the material coming up the cone and out, and that's all the lighter material. All the gold will stick around. Matter of fact, there's a piece of gold right there that you can see. Couple of pieces. Now obviously this was all gold that my son was panning, so let's see what we come up with. You can see when the material falls out through the blue bowl, comes down into my Fossicker's pan, and then really acts like a sluice. You know, you can see a lot of black sand caught up in these ripples right here. Very, very rarely do I have any gold that makes us this far. You know, I'm looking up here and I see several gold flakes up here in my blue bowl pan. But I'm going to add a little bit more material, and let's see what we find. All right, here's a great example of what we come out. There's 3 specks here, nothing major, obviously, but one right there, one right there, and one right there. But you know, one thing I will do now is run this through a smaller mesh, because what ends up happening is you can see there's basically a lot more heavies in here. And if you're truly looking to get down to very, very fine flour gold, what happens is if there's larger rocks, and you know, not large at all by 20 mesh standpoint, but if it's larger than the flour gold, as these rocks go around, they will dislodge any flour gold. So if you're really truly trying to get down to that lower flour gold, you do want to do a 50, 60, you know, 80, even 100 mesh, so you make sure you have all these larger pieces of debris in your blue bowl out of the blue bowl, so it doesn't knock that flour gold out. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, this was my fine gold cleanup system with the blue bowl and the Fossicur's pan. And not trying to show you a bunch of gold today, really more just to show you how the system works, and it does work very, very well for me. So hope you enjoyed the video, and I promise I'm going to have a lot more this summer coming out of some of the adventures out in the field. Thank you.